Hello, citizens of Itza. It is the salty Lord of Carthage here. Heir of Carthage, actually. I don't think I've ever taken on the new title. I don't move up very quick in the company here. I'm keeping myself down. Hey, welcome back to the campaign. Welcome back indeed. Hey, so want to address a few comments from the previous video. One, someone wanted more Temple Guard in Gor Rok's army. Absolutely. It needs to come. We still have some shifts to make in Gor Rok's army. I will try to make that happen in this episode. I was thinking more Temple Guard, and I really want an Engine of the Gods in his army. I want to get rid of the Poha Sentinels and the Blessed Chameleons and swap them out with some lethal weapons so that his army is truly the elite of everything that the Lizardmen have to offer. And other than that, people suggested that we... John Hammond's army is called the Park's Revenge. I like it. And we have to have a lot of Jurassic Park themed names for these dinosaurs, so I need you all to get started. We will keep the Jurassic Park army, and I'll get it started here with this one. We're going to call these guys the Park Rangers. Well, actually, I wonder if we can fit Jurassic in there. Oh yeah, there we go. We got the Jurassic Park Rangers. You guys come up with some more names for the different dinos. We already got Clever Girl. We need these others. Help me out. And then we're going to put more heroes in this army as well, so you can help me with that one too. Would love to get your feedback. Alrighty, let's kick things off. I'm going to fix up. I'm going to take a few turns, fix up Gor Rok's army, try and get Teclis to sue for peace, and we really need to kick off the first ritual. And then I will speed up that process and hit the highlights of it so you don't have to sit here through me ending 10 turns to get through the ritual. Before we do that, let's get Gor Rok's skill points assigned. We are working on his personal strength here as of recent, which this will just give him a little more weapon damage, so we're going to throw that in there. All the weapon damage he can get, I want. Most assuredly there. Lots of physical resistance for the Croakster. We certainly want that. Make him a big mess in melee for our enemies.
No.
I didn't ask you, so regrettably shut up. Alright, here we go. We do have a bunch of money, and there's a lot to be built. Let's see what our particular choice is here. I'm going to put some defense at the mouth of Cerveza. Build up the trade there. The Vampire Coast. Defense, just in case we get the odd raid, because it's a little bit far out right now. And you know what? Let's just throw all in the Vampire Coast there. We'll see if there's anything left. Just the Mosquito Swamps. We'll go ahead and drop that in there. We've spent up our money. I don't know if it'll be one turn or several. I'm going to be getting things sorted. I don't want to bore you all with just repeated turn-ins, so I'll see you with the next piece of action. So I'm actually here about, I think, like 4 turns later, and Khalida just took a sudden turn against us. Out of nowhere, someone united Khalida against us. So the war with the skeletons, I guess, is underway. I don't know if we can win this one or not, but I'm gonna give it a shot, obviously. Rombaton, the Saurus garrison captain, hid his troops in the nearby jungle, close to a crossing where the High Queen's troops would have to pass. Knowing that his only chance to win in the face of the high-quality troops the Tomb Kings brought is to be able to use his superior numbers to his advantage. So hiding in the woods, the approach that Khalida took seems open and unopposed. Her Ushabti with great bows, her skeleton archers, and 2 tomb scorpions, supported by the High Queen herself, atop a necro serpent, slithering confidently into battle. Would Rombaton be able to hold back these fierce creatures and keep the lands of Itza safe? Well, it's a good question, and you all are about to see the answer here. And what is sure to be a pretty exciting battle. Holy crap, this game is gorgeous. If y'all don't own this game, you need to own this game. Oh my goodness, sometimes I just get impressed checking it out. So Rombaton springs his ambush into action. His skinks, light of foot, able to close the distance quickly, and because they were hidden, minimized the massive damage they would take at range from the Ushabti with Great Bow, and lured them closer so that they could be targeted. But the first targets are going to be the Horse Archers and the Skeleton Archers, as my Saurus should be able to deal with the Ushabti due to their anti-large. Those units are considerably slower to move, though, and will take some time to get into combat. And to complete the ambush, the 3 skink skirmishers of the garrison, vanguard deployed across the river and hidden in the woods once again, now moving to make a full encirclement so that the queen is trapped between different hails of poisonous darts. Tomb Kings, I'm not really sure how you poison them, as they are undead, but the Lizardmen are apparently masters of poison. So now completely stuck, no retreat, closed in from behind, and forced to fight, despite being a skirmish force. The Saurus Spearmen with their shields leading the way, and supported by the Cold One Riders against the Scorpions, so that they can minimize their anti-infantry damage. And that Scorpion is quite a beast to be reckoned with. But the Cold One Spear Riders, excellent, up to the task. And then the Spearmen close by to help support. The Queen herself is going to roll into combat while the Skirmishers attempt to fall back, but there is nothing to fall back to. The fallback position is compromised by Skink Skirmishers, who are in an excellent position to mow down the low armor skirmishing units of the Tomb Kings, and they are supported from the air by the Pterodon Riders. Meanwhile, in the melee, although Khalida causes tremendous damage, she and her Necroserpent Scorpions capable of dealing with many, many foes, and deal they will, but the forces here led by Rambutan, confident, because they know that they have been taught well by the Great White Lizard Gor Rok, and they are able to hold the ground despite the challenge they're up against. Let's take a look at the damage here. You can see the Tomb Scorpions both down close to half. High Queen Khalida, not so much. She is not going to go down without a fight. In order to keep the Skeleton Archers from having any good effect, the Pterodon Riders swoop down from the skies, and their Skink Riders help pick apart these bony freaks who have invaded Itza, and they will be taught a lesson for it. The Ushabti will be completely overwhelmed. Call down all the arrows from the sky. It won't save the Tomb Kings. By the way, nice usage there, AI. You know, you could have done it in a different direction, and it might have actually been effective. But, you know, that's the AI for you. Or should I just blame it on Khalida to make her look worse? Speaking of Khalida, she's not happy about what I'm doing to her Ushabti with Great Bow, so she decides that she's going to slither her way out here and get into a fight. She's welcome to, because now she can't support the fight from the other direction, and her troops are getting completely overwhelmed. The first Tomb Scorpion drops. Its unanimated husk now littering the ground, forever a monument to the strength of Itza, much like the other monuments in the area. The next Tomb Scorpion is now going to be sat on by all the remaining anti-large forces nearby, while the Skeleton Archers get torn apart by Skinks, who are a little bit angry at the loss of their brethren earlier in this battle. The Ushabti with Great Bow drop to the Pterodon Riders, and the High Queen finds herself between a Poison Javelin and a Skink place, as she suffers the fate of most fast-moving critters that think they can keep up with Skinks, who are skirmishing, and this tends to be folly for the most part. Yeah, she'll get a quick catch here, but she's without hope in this battle, and will be absolutely shredded by all the skirmishers. And she goes down. Yeah, Khalida may have been having luck against Tehenowin, but she just found herself between a rock. Well, I guess a hard place, because I don't know how else to end that joke. But yeah, Gor Rok, he wasn't even there. So yeah, there it is. They've united against us. So be it. They've chosen their own doom.
Your feeble-minded plans are of no concern.
Wow, Teclis just will not give in. What'd we get here? Playing as Lizardmen, construct the vaults of the old ones in the city of Itza. Nice. So I'm working on the extra temple guard for Gor Rok. There's still other stuff we'll need to do to his army, and then I'm working on getting Gustave's army up to speed, but it's taking a while because I have to use the global recruitment. So yeah, it's not an ideal situation there at the moment. Less than ideal, I should say. Whack-a-mole crater. It'd be great to get over here and take out the settlement here. There's so much work that needs to be done, and I don't want to get overextended. This army right here can certainly do a lot of damage, but we also still have this rebellious problem here behind me at the altar of the old ones. It's still got a lot of Skaven corruption, and it's taking a considerable amount of time to get it cleared out. We have enough money to recruit another army, and some part of me is very tempted to do so. We could certainly use it. So I think I may get started on that here very shortly. Let's go ahead and throw some upgrades to our settlement here. Trying to see what else we would want to... I'm going to put a scrying pool in here because I need it for technology. So I know it's kind of a dumb building to have here, but we're going to go for it. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next piece of action. Well, folks, a couple turns later, and look who's back. It's Mr. I won't take peace under any circumstances until I lose. Teclis. With 5 Sisters of Avalorn, he is severely lacking in infantry, has some Titanic chariots, and is spamming the air attack. Should be interesting. His air spam will be quite annoying, but we should be able to deal with the rest of his army pretty quickly. Meanwhile, I've got Gustave set up in an ambush to try and catch his other army off guard. I'm going to put a whole lot of the skink on a pterodon for the time being, so he can do a little work from the skies. You can see there's a Philion here, another army. I don't know how strong this army is, but it could be trouble for Gustave. His army's not really a big, super heavy hitter. And then in the south, I have an opportunity to take out some Tomb Jerks down here. My objective here is to really just raid, raise, and leave. I want to cause the Tomb Kings losses that they can't afford. I'm going to hold them here for just a minute while we go fight Teclis. And we're going to take care of some business here. This campaign's getting a little interesting. Stuff that I didn't expect. Oh, and Teclis' army is going to be tired here. He's made a huge movement mistake. But the reason why he's done this is because it shows him having a massive advantage, but I don't know what world that advantage exists in. He's going to lose. Previously, Teclis was able to face Gustave and nearly succeeded in his attempt with a monumental effort on his part due to amazing equipment and abilities that he had cleaned up during the campaign. And here he faces now, not against Gustave, who is a force to be reckoned with in and of himself, but he will be facing the Great White Lizard. Teclis this time is packing some serious heat. He has a large number of Sisters of Avalorn. You can see them here, actually kind of making up an odd front line, but firing away at my troops. He's got Phoenix Guard, he's got Ethelmar chariots, Titanic chariots, less heavy infantry this time, but he has a Moon Dragon and 2 Flamespire Phoenixes to support. So a big battle regardless. Croak opens the battle early by decimating the front line and opening a gaping hole through which the rest of the army will come pouring through. And the Shredder of Lustria also initiates combat along with the Thunderous One. Both of these units absolutely collapsing the front line for Teclis and sending his forces into utter disarray as the main line of Saurus warriors begins to make their way slowly into combat. Not the quickest, these ones, but pretty effective. You can see the Thunderous One calling down the forces of heaven. The Saurus warriors finding their mark. Croak is going to call in some deliverance over here. The Phoenix Guard, mighty and powerful, utterly and immediately decimated as the Thunderous One rolls right over the top of what's left of them. And the Star Chamber Guardians now entering the fray, looking for their targets. The initial front line of White Lions and Sisters of Avalorn won't be able to stay the mighty warriors of Itza. Here we get a good view of the Pop Hapak cohort shredding into some Silver Helms. And shred it will. Elsewhere, the Horned Ones have engaged some archers, You can see here that we've got the Poha Sentinels moving in behind the artillery, and the Chameleon Skinks working in the woods far back behind the High Elf line. Despite the fiery feces of the Phoenix, there is little that Teclis can do to stay the hand of destruction, as his forces are utterly routed from the battlefield. His army may not have had quite enough high-tier infantry, but Gor Rok's army is no joke. There are few armies that would be able to face what he's put together here. His Saurus warriors are absolutely mad. He's got cavalry support, he's got dino support, and soon we're going to drop the Chameleon Skinks, not that they aren't good, and bring in even more heavy weapons, likely an engine of the gods, and some solar engines. So his army will be absolutely stacked, but even as it is, the Prince himself, still mighty, still has some incredible stats, and has managed to stand in combat for an incredibly long time, up to and including the point where the Thunderous One and the Shredder of Lustria join the fray. He is shattered and will be hunted down and destroyed. Alright, the auto-resolve needs to lay off the warp stone because that wasn't even close. Like, not even close. Come on. Get it straight. Well, I'm not gonna let the elves continue to push us like this. Although I don't have this army fully like I want, it's clearly powerful enough to get the job done. We're gonna continue to lay and wait with Gustave. And then we've got some tomb jerks to kill over here and then raise their settlement. Let's go do that. John Hammond's Park Rangers, I suppose this army is. They find themselves across from a bunch of bony wimps attempting to place a foothold in the jungle. Their light armor will find itself quite challenged with the scaly hides and sharp teeth that all these dinosaurs are going to bring to battle. So, the Tomb King's army across. There are some skeletal horsemen, skeletal archers, Ushabti, some cheap skeleton infantry, and some Tomb Guard, some quite capable infantry. If there is anything here to stop the dinosaurs, it would be these. But there is indeed a lot of dinosaurs, and John Hammond himself is here to hopefully teach these tomb jerks a lesson. So he's engaged their king and their prince, though he's going to move on, as that's probably a bit more fight than he really needs to be in at the moment. But elsewhere, the dinosaurs are welcoming their guest to a tour of the park, and in quite an epic fashion, might I say, as the Stegodons absolutely rampaging through the front lines. And despite the presence of Tomb Guards, there's going to be a big challenge here for the Tomb Kings to actually be able to handle the sheer number of dinosaurs. The only real thing they have going for them here is the fact that they just don't rout. You have to crumble them, which does take time, especially if you haven't killed the Tomb King or other leaders. And the Tomb King is not dead. He's alive. John Hammond not able to take that fight all by himself just yet. He had to move on and find some other quarry, but not to be too daunted. He's come over here, found some skeletal archers. He's going to absolutely rip them apart, deanimate them, send them back to the ground. Meanwhile, let's go take a look at the leaders for the Tomb Kings. The Necrotech, the Tomb King have moved over here to engage some of my Saurus spearmen. Definitely not a place where they want to be. Despite being lead units, you can see that the Bastillodons are doing great supporting the Stegodons at spreading absolute carnage through the lines of Tomb Kings. These Tomb Guard with halberds, not going to go down really easy, though you can see that despite them dealing some tremendous damage, they have been absolutely trampled upon. There are 3 units of them, 2 of them are almost gone, and the third one is starting to suffer quite badly. and as more units are freed up from battle, there will be more and more units pouring into the back of these Tomb Guard with halberds, and they will find it difficult to hold the line. The summoned Ushabti are ripped apart like some kind of disgusting tomb-originating chew toy. That is a pretty cool dinosaur there when you have the DNA to just like morph straight through trees. That's right, John Hammond breeds just those kind of dinosaurs. And speaking of those kind of dinosaurs, there's the kind that have giant solar-powered lasers on their back. Or I don't know, solar-powered, faith-powered, whatever you want to call it here. We've got the Bastillodon who has finished off the skeletal horse archers and will find his way to yet another target. And now almost all the dinos are free, along with some infantry, to just come crashing into the back of the Tomb Guard with halberds, and they begin to crumble. And meanwhile, the previously confident Tomb King finds himself now engaged by a couple of Carnosaurs amidst a mass of spearmen. So he will be in trouble, and he knows it, and is very much desiring to get away from the fight, though he hasn't learned the lesson to stand still. It can't see you if you don't move. He put up an impressive fight, this particular Tomb King, but it won't be enough. Well, it's like the Tomb Kings were kind of just like, you know, like you get your dog a nice chew toy, and a lot of times they're shaped like bones, or they are bones. Well, there you go. That's what the Tomb Kings are for John Hammond's army. They made a nice little chew toy, and I'm going to raise their settlement to the ground. And then I'm going to retreat and repeat until we cause great damage to the court of Labaris. So I'm going to do that kind of scorched earth type policy with them until I feel like they have learned the lesson. That's going to be it for this episode. We've had some success. I don't know what the heck Silostra thinks she's doing, but I'm not going to tolerate that for much longer either. So as soon as I get rid of some of these elves from my back porch, we'll go take care of Silostra as well. We've got a lot of enemies, and we can't even do our stuff here. So I do think we have to raise another army. I think it's going to be a Slan army. So you all... I would say get in the comments and tell me I'm actually about to record the next episode. So we're going to do a Slan army. I'll start building it. If you all decide that you're going to change your mind about the type of units and stuff you want to, you can let me know. But anyway, I'm going to start building that Slan army. I will see you all in the next episode. But like I said, I'm going to record it back to back with this one. So it'll take me 2 episodes to get to your comments. But please do leave them there for me. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.